All right, hello guys, and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. And in this one, we're going to be covering mats, track mats. So how do the mats actually work? Well, they're basically layers that allow us to show something or to hide something. Now, before we actually create the mat, you need to make sure that you have your track mat open. So make sure that you have the toggle switches and modes selected. And if you don't see this, just make sure that you have this selected here and it will appear. And then you can toggle it on and off with this toggle switches in mode, and then you will see it. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a shape like this. You could also use text or video. Now notice that down here we have an option. Under here we can select either alpha matte, alpha inverted matte, Luma matte, and then Luma inverted matte. Now why doesn't this shape layer up here actually have any options? This is because the top layer is what becomes the actual mat, and the bottom layer is what is going to be affected by the mat. So you can't set this to have a certain mat applied to it as we have down here, because there's no layer on top of it. So down here you are basically saying to After Effects, I want the top layer to be one of these kinds of mats. Now I'm going to select this to Alpha Matte Shape Layer 1, which is the layer that we have up here. So selected. Notice that a few things happened. First of all, our shape layer became invisible and our text layer is now visible. And also we have these icons down here. This icon is telling us that the shape layer has now become the mat. And if I click on it, I see it right here. And this bottom layer down here has this icon telling us that the mat above it has been applied to the text layer. Now, a question that some of you may be wondering is, what does this whole alpha mean? Well, to understand this, we have to look at our channels here. And then if I go down to alpha and I select it, it will show me all of my alpha channels. And your alpha channel basically shows you what is not transparent. So if I go up here and I click on my selection tool and then I open up the info and then I hover over this text here, notice that in the alpha in the corner, it will say 255, which means that it is totally non-transparent. 255 is the highest and 0 is the lowest. So this is fully non-transparent. If I was to lower this, it would be 163. So I'll push that back up and then I'll go out of this back to the regular RGB. So that is what is happening here. This matte layer is showing us the text since it is not transparent. And if I want to, I can actually move the text out of the matte like this and it disappears. Or I could move the shape layer and then the text would actually disappear. And if you want to animate this, you can. So you could say, zoom in like this and then go to maybe 4 seconds right here. And then you put a keyframe on the shape layer, position, and then you go back here and you can just drag this out as far as you want. And then actually I'll bring this a little bit closer like that, play it through. So the track mat revealed our text layer like that. So that is how the alpha track mat works. All right, so now let us look at the alpha inverted mat. So I'm gonna go ahead up here and create another shape layer like this, right about there. And then I will set this mats down here to alpha inverted matte. Notice here that whatever is outside of your matte is revealed. But if I was to move this text, say, into the matte, it would disappear. So that is how the alpha inverted matte works. Whatever is outside of it is going to appear. All right, guys, so now we're gonna look at the Luma track mat. So I'm gonna go ahead first now and create a shape like this. It's a white one now. And then I'll just put it right here. And then I will set this to Luma Matte. So now if I bump it up, it is in here. Now, how does the Luma track mat actually work? Basically, it goes like this. The Luma Matte works off of the luminance or the brightness of your alpha channel. Now, what does that actually mean? If I click on my shape layer here, and then I go up to the fill right here, notice that if I go down to the brightness, like right here, And then if I start moving the colors, see how it is changing. Since I'm messing with the colors on my brightness panel right here, it is changing my text in my matte. And if I was to drop this to totally black and to remove the brightness, there would be nothing left. Now, if I wanted to make this fully non-transparent, all I would have to do is drag this down all the way to the white, and now it is fully non-transparent. So this is pretty cool, something you can play with. You can also do like gradients with this. So if I go up to the fill, I don't have to use a solid fill color. I can use a gradient, like a linear gradient. Press OK. Now notice that a gradient has been applied, and I can adjust it the way that I want. And you can adjust your gradient down here as well in your contents. So how could I actually use all of this? Well, you could use it for like a reveal. So say you like where it is right now, press P, then go back a little bit. And then I would just drag it over here first to this side and then play it. And then you have a cool reveal. So that's how the Luma track map works. It works off of the luminance or the brightness of your alpha channel. Now the last option that we have here is our Luma inverted matte, and as you can probably guess, it simply works as the opposite of your Luma matte. So if I click it, what we had before with the Luma matte has now been reversed. So that's how the Luma inverted matte works. So I hope that you now have a better understanding of mattes and After Effects and how you can use them, and we will see you in the next tutorial.